It's showtime, my friend, and nice, come on in. It's so good to see you again. Got stories to share, I'm virtually there. It's showtime, my friend. It's showtime, my friend, with a tear or a grin. We're chomping the bit to begin. Wear sweatpants or slacks, sit back and relax. It's showtime, my friend. If you have to go, I want you to know it's easy to sign right back in. Connection too slow, hope you don't miss the show. It's showtime, my friend. Let's go. It's time to prepare for our online affair. I do hope you'll stay till the end. I've tuned up my ex, sit back and relax. No matter how your day has been, we'll make you smile, make it all worth your while. It's showtime, it's starting in no time. It's showtime, my friend. Well, it is showtime. Glad you're here. Look, everybody was signing in there. I saw Mom. She's got some issues with the sound. We hope it's going to work okay here. And we saw Tim and Mark Wright sign in, and I asked them to see if they could help Mom with the audio trouble. Oh, it's so difficult. And I'm using a Zoom program now when I have to help people. Well, if the other person can't get their Zoom started, you're really stuck because you need Zoom to help you get Zoom going. And every few months they give you an update and they change a few things, and you're going, oh, wait a minute, where'd that go? Yeah, okay. So there's Joan and Bob Haskin. Yep, and Kim and Mark are trying to send along instructions for Mom. And we got Jack and Barb. Hi, you guys. Good to see you. Jack is the one who has made this video part look pretty good. The only thing I'm awfully, I think I need to spend more time in the sun or something. I'm very much a very light-skinned person. And Bud, Brent, and Jeannie are here, okay? And Larry, good to see you too, Larry. Well, good to see everybody. I don't mean to just say Larry, good to see you, Larry. The rest of you, No, it's great. This is so much fun for me. And one of the things I enjoy about this especially is that I get to try some things out, things that I probably wouldn't do, in a live audience. Well, you're a live audience, but I meant if I was actually there in your same room with you, which we are really. But I get to experiment sometimes with some things that, they may or may not turn out so well. But I think you guys let me, try these things. So I'm going to do one that I did. Oh my gosh, it's been 9 months ago. Here we are in October already. Whew. Hey, didn't that weather change quickly? Boom. So what this one by the group called Chicago. It's called Beginnings, and I do have to scroll the screen a couple of times here. So I'll get it as close to the top as I can here. This is called, Beginnings, and let me see. Yep, I do have to scroll at least once, so we'll do what we have to. All right. And this works off a beat that I think works about like that. That's all that matters. Time passes much too quickly. sing it to you. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I wish I could have sing it to you. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. Mostly I'm silent. Try to think of right words to say. When I kiss you, I feel 1,000 different feelings, all colors of chill, all over my body. And when I feel them, I quickly try to decide which one I should try to put into words. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I should have put into words. Whoa, 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 whoa. La da 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 da. La la. Whoa, 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 whoa. Mostly I'm silent. Silent. La da 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 da. Silent. Boom boom boom. Doom doom boom. Doom doom boom. Doom boom boom. Doom doom boom. Doom doom boom. Doom doom boom. Only the beginning of what I want to feel forever. Yeah, da 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 da. Hey hey hey, da 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 da. Oh, only the beginning. You're only just a start. I gotta get you into my life now, mama. I got to get you next to me. Hey, it's only the beginning. Only just a start, yeah. Only the beginning of what I want to feel forever. Hey, only the beginning, only just a start. Yeah. Chicago Transit Authority, they call themselves, and everybody just started calling them Chicago or CTA. They had album after album after album, really interesting covers, and they had some exquisite arrangers. There was a fellow who wrote a lot of their music, arranged it, and was not a performer. I mean, he played instruments, but he did not go on the road with them. So they ended up with some pretty sophisticated music, terrific. They're still out there playing too. I think it's great. Hi, Susan Curtis. Saw that you arrived there, and we've only done this is only the second song, so you even caught part of that. Thank you very much. Thank you, Kim and Mark. Yeah. You know, I keep threatening that I should get a little applause thing over here. It wouldn't be that hard to do either. I mean, okay. Well, I said this show is going to be a mix of comedy and other stuff. just kind of a mix, maybe probably about 50-50 like some of the other ones. But so this next one is a song Tom Paul Glaser wrote this. I don't believe that. This says that Tom Paul Glaser wrote this song. I think that's a mistake. I think Shel Silverstein wrote this song. It's called "Put Another Log on the Fire," and it fits in with exact. I think Tom Paul Glaser may have recorded this song, but I don't think he wrote it. So Shel Silverstein, who also wrote "A Boy Named Sue" on the cover of the Rolling Stone, and lesser known but brilliant, "The Winner," which I think I did last week, or am I gonna do that this week? Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Yeah. And he was also a cartoonist for Playboy. He wrote nearly 25 children's books, and some of the ones you guys will be aware of, and I've talked about before, Where the Sidewalk Ends, The Giving Tree, and A Light in the Attic. He died in 1999, and I never realized that I had a chance to meet him through somebody I know, and I'm so disappointed. But as I've said here before, if I'd have met him, I would have gone, "Oh, hi, man. You're good." Yeah. Any of the rest you ever meet somebody that was like a hero or somebody you thought was, and you just couldn't handle it? I'll tell you what I did. One time I did the right thing. Do you remember Mr. T from the TV show? Like, yeah, fool. That guy, Mr. T? Well, I saw him in an airport. And when I saw him, as soon as I got that moment of recognition, he caught my eye and I went like that. That's it. That's as good. That's what you should just do. That. Leave them alone. Let them know that you appreciate what they do or who they are. So anyway, here's the one though. And again, it's totally disrespectful, but it's a humorous take on macho type stuff here. So, I actually have a beat for this one too. Let's try that. Sure. And it's been about 6 months, I said this, since I've done this one here. Some of you may remember it. I'll put another log on the fire. I'll cook me up some bacon and some beans. Go out to the car and change the tire. You can wash my socks and sew my old blue jeans. You can fill my pipe and then go fetch my slippers. And boil me up another pot of tea. Then put another log on the fire, baby, and come and tell me why you're leaving me. Now, don't I let you wash the car on Sundays? And don't I warn you when you're getting fat? Ain't it gonna take you fishing with me someday? Well, a man can't love a woman more than that. Now, ain't I always nice to your kid sister? Don't I take her driving every night? So sit here at my feet, 'cause you know they smell so sweet. And you know it ain't feminine to fight. So put another log on the fire. Cook me up some bacon and some beans. Go out to the car and pick it up and change the tire. You can wash my socks and mend my old blue jeans. You can fill my pipe and then go fetch my slippers. Then boil me up another pot of tea. Then put another log on the fire, honey, and come and tell me why you're leaving me. And there are guys like that who don't quite get it, folks. I hope I'm not one of them, but I do know that some days I take the dishes up from eating dinner and I put them on the counter. I don't put them in the dish. Not all the time. I mean, I try to get in there, and I mean, hey, they're my dishes. I mean, so okay, but well, a lot of us grew up with some of that kind of stuff, and yeah. So that was a fun. I'm going to do a serious one. This is Folsom Prison Blues by Johnny Cash. And my favorite part about this, I love this little lick. I want to, if I haven't shown you folks before, I'm just playing a real simple. You can't see that. But this is the important part right here. Now watch my finger. I put my finger there, and then I yank it downward. Can you see it? The string part right here. This part getting close to this It's a great, great lick. So simple, but really perfect for this song. So here we go. I hear that train a-comin', it's rolling around the bend. I ain't seen sunshine since I don't know when. Now I'm stuck in Folsom Prison, time keeps dragging on. But that train keeps a-rolling on down to San Antone. When I was just a baby, my mama told me, son, always be a good boy, don't ever play with guns. But I shot a man in Reno just to watch him die. When I hear that whistle blowing, I hang my head and cry. Yeah, yep. I'll bet there's rich folks eating in fancy dining cars. They're probably drinking whiskey and smoking big cigars. But I coming, I know I can't be free. But those people keep 'em moving, and that's what tortures me. Here we go. Well, if they freed me from this prison, if that railroad train was mine, I bet I'd move it on a little further down the line. From Folsom Prison, that's where I wanna stay. I let that lonesome whistle blow my blues away. Pom 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 pom. Johnny Cash music for you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Let me see. I'm going to turn the volume down just a hair because it sounded like I was getting a little distortion of the line there for you guys. I never did that before. I just came up with that idea. Well, it sounds like a train whistle, doesn't it? I should use that. Hey, that's good. I like it. Da 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 da. Okay, so how about this one? This is a song, another Shel Silverstein song, recorded by Bobby Bare and a bunch of other, but lots of hand clapping out of there. Hey, thank you. Let's see. This is a Shel Silverstein. Oh, yeah. And this one is another, these are all a lot of these ones I have are kind of things between men and women here. And this, let me see if I have a beat for this. No, I'm going to play it just with the guitar and a voice here. Oh, yeah, I got it figured out. And I did this about 6 months ago, so some of you won't be surprised by it, but it's kind of fun. Well, I was sitting in Fridays, sucking on a glass of wine. It's going to take me a moment to get myself figured out here. Just a second. Gino. Well, this doesn't have a lot of melody to it, so I have to figure out when I'm going to. All right, let me try it again. Well, I was sitting in Fridays, sucking on a glass of wine, when in walked a chick who almost struck me blind. Had wet blue eyes and her legs were long and fine. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'd give her a 9. Now on my scale there ain't no 10s, you know. 9 is about as far as any chick can go. So I flashed her a smile, but she didn't even look at me. For brains and good judgment, I have to give her a 3. I said, hey, sweet thing, you look like a possible 8. Yeah, you and me could make 18 if your head's on straight. She looked up and down my perfect frame and said these words that burned into my perfect brain. She said, well, now another one of those macho mathematician men. Yeah. The kind who grades all men from scales of 1 to 10. And you give me an 8? Well, that's a generous thing to do. Now, let's just see how much I give you. She said, you coming on to me with that phony numbers jive. Your style makes me smile. I'd give it a 5. When you walked up, I noticed that suit of yours. It's last year's double knit frayed cuff. I give it a 4. That must be your car parked out on the curb. That 69 homemade convertible, 3 1/3. Now, as for your build, I guess you're less than a 5. Oh, yeah. Well, except for that pot belly. I'd give it a 10 for size. And that wine you're drinking might be just fine for you. But I'm used to fine champagne. I'll give a wine a 2. It's hard to tell what your flashing smile is worth. I guess I give it a 6. Could use a little dental work. Well, that strutting rooster act really makes me laugh. Oh, it may be a 10 to these country hens, but me, it's only a 3 1/2. And there really ain't much to add once the subtracting's done. Since there ain't no zeros, I'll give you a 1. Well, she walked out and up and down the line. The whole bar was laughing, said, John, what happened to your 9? A 9, says I. Well, soon as she started to talk, I knew. She didn't have no class. I give her a 2. Yeah, no matter how good they look at first, there's flaws in all of them. That's why on a scale of 10 to 1, friend, there ain't no 10. Oh, yes, the wonderful Shel Silverstein. So clever to come up with these cool things that he does. Well, now I want to revive something here because I thought about something this last week. Mark Wright had suggested that perhaps I could do some stories about my musical journey. And I want to tell one that was kind of a happy one. After about the first 3 years of me performing, where I'd been working with bands, a lady who had seen me perform somewhere said that I should try performing as a one-man. And I said, I didn't even know what that was. And she said, well, you play by yourself with a drum machine and your guitar. And you're sort of like a little mini band. And she took me to a place called Celentino's here in Lansing, which is now El Azteco on Saginaw at Martin Luther King, to see a fellow who was playing there. And I ended up getting the job there at Celentino's for about a year. And as that run was ending, I heard about a place in Grand Ledge. I think it was called Papa DeLuca's. And I think I remember that because the fellow who ran it and owned it was Papa DeLuca. And he was very kind to me and did something no one else had done before or since. When he had a good night, he paid me extra. And more importantly, when he had a bad night, I should say we had a bad night, he never asked for me to give him a refund of any kind. And if I hadn't needed the money so badly, I might have suggested that to him, but it didn't even occur to me at that time. You got to love somebody like that, and it really made an impression on me. What a great guy, and I just love to say it. He's been gone now for a lot of years, but Papa DeLuca and any of your relatives, still surviving relatives, good dude. What a person. What a great heart. Then there's one other memorable incident at Papa's. People often would come up to me and say nice things about the music, or just want to talk. And one day, as I was on break, a burly guy came up to me with his hand out and a smile on his face. And as I reached for his hand, he grabbed a hold of it and he punched me square in the nose with his other fist. Well, I fell on the floor and he kicked me in the teeth. Then he left, and I thought, what did I do? And I got up and my nose is bleeding, my mouth hurt, I'm going like that. And I said, what's with that guy? Oh, that's just, what's his name? I can't remember what his name is. Oh, that's just him. That's the kind of stuff he does. And I'm going, and you let him in here? A guy who does this kind of thing on a regular basis? I mean, I couldn't believe it. And anyway, and that was more than 50 years ago. My nose is still crooked. You can see right here, it comes down and then goes sideways and then comes back to here. And my teeth ended up having a series of little cracks in them. The dentists call it checking, I think. Checking or checkering. And they're just these lines up and down that look like you could pull out a little tiny square. And oh my God, maybe I should do that. Pull out one of those squares and put one of those diamonds in there like the rappers do. Would that be cool? Yeah? No, I don't think so. All right. Anyway, just thought I'd let that story go because I thought you might find that interesting. Let's see. So we did 10 and we did that. I want to do something else that's a little more serious, so to speak. How about, no, I got, you know what? I got mostly funny stuff on here. Well, here's one. I want to do this. This is a song that I wrote I've sort of forced my way into co-writing it. Let me put it that way. A fellow that I went to Michigan State with 53 years ago is named Edgar Struble, and he was, from, if this is Michigan, he's from up here, a little place called Scottville, and he played trombone. I didn't know he played in a band. I found out later he played in a band called Chopper, and they had like horns and all kinds of stuff. It was a great band. And anyway, he went on to end up working with Kenny Rogers for 15 years. And then he also, what else was I going to tell you? Well, he got to work on a TV show regularly on the Nashville network, where he was like the musical, the guy who led the band. He had like a 4 or 5 piece band. I don't remember what the number was. And whenever other artists would come on the show, which was every day, he got to work with them. So he worked with everybody, every country artist there is. Maybe not so much the current ones, but it's fantastic. And then he also got to work with the Dick Clark organization, writing introductions to the award shows. So very good guy, top in the business and stuff. Well, In the 1990s, he did an album of his own, and on the album was this song, but it didn't have any words. And I kept finding words for it. So I called him up. I said, Edgar, I want to write the words to this. He says, okay, go ahead. And so I did, and this is it now. And I think this is going to go on my next album. The album it's currently called Bad Jazz, but I think it's actually going to be pretty good jazz by the time it gets done. Here we go. Let's Dinner for Two. Called Smooth Jazz. Come sit down and I'll rub your back. Go ahead and kick off your shoes. Hold my hand and we'll climb the stairs to the roof. Feel the breeze, got your favorite tunes, and I'll start the barbecue. City lights are just right with dinner for two. I can't tell you how much you mean, but I hope you know what's true. All week long you take care of me. Tonight is all for you. Saturday we can meet our friends. Right now one-on-one is cool. Sit back, my love, and I'll serve this dinner for two. Oh, yeah. I can't tell you how much you mean, but I hope you know what's true. All week long you take care of me. Tonight is all for you. Saturday we can meet our friends, but right now one-on-one is cool. Sit back, my love, and I'll serve this dinner for two. Sit back, my love, and I'll serve this dinner for two. Isn't that a nice song? They call that smooth jazz. It's about 25 years 25 years old music. And they say, that doesn't sound current. You know what? I don't want it to sound current. I mean, if it sounded like Michael Bublé, that's cool, but I don't want it to sound like it could be what would we say? Feel the breeze. How's it begin? It would be all right. Come sit down, I'll rub your back, go ahead and kick off your shoes. Hold my hand and we'll... No, I'm not doing it. Okay, so here we go. Here's one that... I better tell you about the song here. And this is called I Am My Own Grandpa. And a bunch of people have recorded this and done it. I'm not sure. I have names Mo Jaffe and Dwight Latham. I don't know if they're the writers. I should check up on that. But lots of people recorded it, including the Muppets. And I heard a guy perform it at a comedy showcase. And I thought, yeah, that's a kind of a cool song. So honestly, everything that is said in this song, as complicated as it is, everything that's said in this song is absolutely correct about a situation that could happen with a marriage and divorce and remarriage and kind of stuff. So I'm just going to give you the first part without, then I'll sing it again. But not so many years ago, when I was 23, I was married to a widow who was pretty as can be. Now, the widow had a grown-up daughter who had hair of red. Father fell in love with her, and soon the two were wed. Now, okay, so now his father is married to the woman. Let me think now. Who's married to the woman? The widow had a grown-up daughter. Oh, yes. So I married a woman, and she had a young, she was fairly young. And this didn't happen, okay? You understand. I don't want anybody to be confused here. But so then the father married the daughter. And so this creates a very strange relationship. So here, let's go ahead. I'm going to. Not so many years ago, when I was 23, I was married to a widow who was pretty as can be. The widow had a grown-up daughter who had hair of red. Father fell in love with her, and soon the two were wed. This made my dad my son-in-law, which changed my very life. 'Cause my daughter was my mother, 'cause she was my father's wife. To complicate the matter, even though it brought me joy, I soon became the father of a bouncing baby boy. The little baby then became a brother-in-law to Dad, which meant he was my uncle. My own son it made me mad. For if he were my uncle, then that also made him brother to the widow's grown-up daughter, who of course was my stepmother. Oh, I'm my own grandpa. I'm my own grandpa. Ah, it's crazy, I know, but it really is so. Oh, I'm my own grandpa. Trying to scroll the page here with one hand. If my wife is my grandmother, well, did I sing that Father's? No, I missed that. Here we go. Father's wife then had a son, which kept them on the run. And he became my grandchild, 'cause he was my daughter's son. My wife is now my mother's mother, though it makes me blue, because although she is my wife, she's my grandmother too. If my wife is my grandmother, then I am her grandchild. And every time I think of it, it nearly drives me wild. For now I have become the strangest case you ever saw. As husband of my grandmother, I am my own grandpa. Oh, I'm my own grandpa. I'm my own grandpa. It's crazy, I know, but it really is so. Oh, I'm my own grandpa. Yes, it's crazy, I know, but it really is so. Oh, I'm my own grandpa. I wonder if Mom was able to get audio, because this is very interesting without a little bit of audio in there. So, okay, well, it turns out, we do have one that I can do. It's a fun song called Leroy Brown, and it is not a comedy song. Let me try to bring this up over here. Get my drum part going. Yeah. And by the way, if you want to sing along during the chorus, sing along if you want to. Hey, who's going to stop you? the south side of Chicago is the baddest part of town. And if you go down there, you better just beware of a man named Leroy Brown. Well, now Leroy, he hunts the trouble. You see, he stands about 6'4". All the downtown traders call him treetop lover. All the men just call him sir. Well, that's a bad a Leroy Brown, a baddest man in the whole damn town. Badder than an old King Kong, a meaner than a junkyard dog. Well, now Leroy, he a gambler, and he like his fancy clothes, and he like to wave his diamond ring under everybody's nose. He got a custom Continental, he got an Eldorado too. Yeah, he got a 32 gun in his pocket for fun. He got a razor down in his shoe. I'm talking about bad a Leroy Brown, a baddest man in a whole damn town, a badder than an old King Kong, a meaner than a junkyard dog. Well, now Friday, about a week ago, old Leroy shooting dice, and at the edge of the bar stood a girl named Doris, and oh, that girl looked nice. Well, now he cast his eyes upon her. That's when the trouble it soon began. Oh, Leroy Brown couldn't listen about messing with a wife of a jealous man. Now that's a bad Leroy Brown, the baddest man in the whole damn town, badder than an old King Kong, I meaner than a junkyard dog. Oh, when the two men took to fighting, and when they pulled them from the floor, oh, Leroy looked like a jigsaw puzzle with a couple of pieces gone. It's a bad Leroy Brown, a baddest man in a whole damn town, a badder than an old King Kong, meaner than a junkyard dog. I said a bad Leroy Brown, a baddest man in a whole damn town, a badder than an old King Kong, a meaner than a junkyard dog. Yeah, he was a badder than an old King Kong, a meaner than a junkyard dog. A wonderful song by Jim Croce. Jim Croce wrote "Time in a Bottle," and man, it was quite a character. And he died young too. I'm telling you. I don't know. I don't know if it's all. I don't remember for sure what he died from. Seems like me, a lot of these people died from kind of travel accidents. You know, being on the road, or you put in so many miles, you just keep putting yourself in danger, and you got to get somewhere. You got to get somewhere, and sometimes you do it in a hurry. All right, I'm going to do one here. Oh wait, I'm going to skip this one because I have another one I want to do. This is a questionable song, shall we say. There are a couple of interesting things about it, though. That the song is called "Have Some Madeira, My Dear," which is about kind of a wine thing here. And I first heard it when the Limelighters did it, but they say it was written by Michael Flanders and Donald Swan. They collaborated in writing and performing comic songs, funny songs. And this is a song about seduction, which I say is not quite so sure. You know, this Me Too thing, that changes the attitude of something like this. So a song which would have been possibly funny 20, 30 years ago is starting to get on some kind of a different kind of a meaning. But I'm going to do it with that in mind. If it's the kind of thing you object to, well, all right, so much for you. I appreciate that too. And if you get a laugh out of it, that's great. Now, there was something interesting in it, though. This is there's a complex wordplay, a lot of interesting wordplay in this, and it comes from Michael Swan, who, let me see, I was going to find out more about him. Let's see, he was, I thought he was like some kind of, he was a linguist, so he dealt with language. And in this, there's some clever things. For instance, there's a thing called solipsis, which is a figure of speech where one word is applied to two or more others in a different way. So, for instance, you could say he caught the train and a bad cold. Use the word caught up front, and so that would be like the verb, and it affects two other possibles, or two others, one or two other words that only. And like, for instance, the one that you're going to hear in the song is, in the song he says, he hastened to put out the cat, the wine, his cigar, and the lamps. So they got four uses out of the word put out. He put out the cat, the wine, the cigar, and the lamp. You have to use the right word, because you say he let out the cat, the cigar, and the lamps. What do you mean let out? You have to say put out. It doesn't work otherwise. So, okay, as I say, by the Limelighters, or they were the ones who I heard perform it. And so I'm going to do it sort of their way. Here we go. It has a nice little waltz beat to it. Look at him, look at him, look at him, look at him. Shooby dooby, oobra dooby, oobity ra, ah, ah, ah. She was young, she was pure, she was new, she was nice, she was fair, she was sweet, 17. He was old, he was vile, and no stranger to vice. He was base, he was bad, he was mean. He slyly inveigled her up to his flat to view his collection of stamps, all unperforated. And he said, as he hastened to put out the cat, the wine, the cigar, and the lamps, have some Madeira, my dear. You really have nothing to fear. I'm not trying to tempt you, why that wouldn't be right. You shouldn't drink spirits at this time of night. So have some Madeira, my dear. It's really so much nicer than beer. I don't care for sherry, and one cannot drink stout. And port is a wine I can well do without. Yeah. It's simply a case of chacun à son goût. That means to each his own. Have some Madeira, my dear. Unaware of the wiles of the snake in the grass and the fate of the maiden who totes, she lowered her standards by raising her glass, her courage, her eyes, and his hopes. She sipped it, she drank it, she drained it, she did. He promptly refilled it again. And he said, as he secretly carved one more notch on the butt of his gold-handled cane, have some Madeira, my dear. I have a small cask of it here. And once it's been opened, well, you know it won't keep. Do finish it up. It will help you to sleep. Have some Madeira, my dear. It's ever so much an excellent year. Now, if it were gin, you would be wrong to say yes. The evil gin does would be hard to assess. Besides, it's inclined to affect me prowess. Have some Madeira, my dear. Then there flashed through her mind what her mother had said with her antepenultimate breath. Oh, my child, should you look on the wine when 'tis red, be prepared for a fate worse than death. She let go her glass with a shrill little cry. Dashed, crashed, tinkled, it fell to the floor. When he asked, what in heaven? She made no reply. Up her mind and a dash for the door. Have some Madeira, my dear. Rang out down the hall loud and clear. In a tremulous voice that was filled with despair, she paused to take breath in the cool midnight air. Have some Madeira, my dear. The words seemed to ring in her ear. Until the next morning she woke up in bed with a smile on her lips and an ache in her head and a beard on her earlobe that tickled and said, have some Madeira, my dear. The Limelighters did that one. I remembered it. Oh my gosh, there were a lot of a little subtle ways of saying certain words and so on, and some of those are still stuck in my head here. Very cool. And then, of course, the fellow's trying to impress her so much, he's using words that she doesn't know, like chacun à son goût, which means to each his own. She said, oh, I'm this kind of guy. Well, anyway, you get the idea. As I say, not quite sure whether it's appropriate anymore these days. You know, things change. Yep, they do. Well, let's see. What do we have? How about... Oh, gosh. Well, let me do one I wrote here. I've only done this once on the show before. It's called Roll with the Punches. And it's about a guy who's goes through 3 different stages in his life where things don't go quite the way he planned. And here we go. I was working on Highway 95. I got to feeling a lot more dead than alive when a log named the boss and accused me of goofing off. Well, a nerve. When he started shouting when I saw red, then he fell on my shovel and he hit his head. I knew I was going to have a hard time explaining that one. Looks like I'm out of a job again. You got to roll with the punches. You gotta roll with the punches, or the punches gonna get you down. You've got to roll with the punches, 'cause the trees that bend are the ones that stay in the ground. Oh. My mean old lady skipped out on me. She took my stereo, my car, and my color TV. The police seemed a little slow about tracking her down, until I found her little black book full of numbers and names, including 25 cops. Oh, scandal and shame. Looks like somebody's getting a little police action. I knew there was something funny about that girl. You've got to roll with the punches. You gotta roll with the punches, or the punches gonna get you down. You got to roll with the punches, 'cause the trees that bend are the ones that stay in the ground. Go! I got 5 cents back from the IRS. I had to celebrate. I know I had a good time, I guess. 'Cause when I woke up, couldn't believe what had happened to me. Yeah. As I was leaving the bar, I propositioned a hound. And when the dog catcher came, I spent the night in the pound. No, girl, I don't want none of your dog food. Oh, well, if it means that much, I believe I'll try a little. You've got to roll with the punches. You gotta roll with the punches, or the punches gonna get you down. You've got to roll with the punches, 'cause the trees that bend are the ones that stay in the ground. You gotta roll with the punches, or the punches gonna gonna get you. A roll with the punches, oh, the punches gonna get you. A roll with the punches, oh, the punches gonna get you down. Well, all right. I hope you like that one. That's I'm kind of pleased with it. There are a few things that are a little out of date. She took my stereo, my car, and my color. Well, these days, a lot of people aren't doing a stereo. In fact, I remember about 3 years ago, my hi-fi stereo tuner had a problem. One of the amplifiers or something went bad on it. And I went and asked I started asking people, where can I get a hi-fi tuner? And they went, what? I said, tuner amplifier. They went, we don't know what you're talking about. I thought, oh, okay, right. People don't do stereos like they used. When we first had stereos, they were this huge box that sat in the living room. Piece of furniture is what it was. And you had the huge speakers on both sides with that cloth in front of them. You lift up the top and you reach down and put your record, which was a thing for you young people, a thing about either yay big or yay big. You put it on this spindle, and then you had this armature that came out from the side with a needle on it, and you let it down on the record. And if you didn't do it right, it would go, yep. Oh, yeah, let us old folks start talking about the good old days, the good old days. All right, well, I'm going to bring this on to a close. I have some other things that I didn't get to do tonight. I'll save them for another time. That keeps some things fresh. And as before, this is the what we call TV segment music. Hey, everybody, I started missing your comments here some way back when I played, I think the second, right after Susan Curtis logged in. And so I don't know, there's a little arrow pointing down, but I don't see any things from you guys. So you don't have to write to me all the time, but I just thought maybe somehow something happened and you got knocked out and nobody's been able to view since then. Let me see here if I can. They gave me a little chart over on the side there to look at. Well, it says we have quite a bit of viewership, so I'm glad to see you guys are still here. But I will sign off now and save it for next week. I hope to get to see you then. Remember, please send your email on to your friends. Put a thumbs up if you haven't already. Every time you do one of these, put a thumbs up. YouTube will try to send more people over, and we can have us a regular online show, just like TV and all that stuff. I like it. All right, we'll see you guys next week. Oh, in the meantime, what happens to me? Oh, that's right. I remember I disappeared. Well, wait, not yet. Oh, I don't want to. No, not yet.